Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham.
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber.
Hello.
And this is State of Atlanta. Wait, is no one else doing the beer? Or you just reopened the beer you already had, Tim? Yeah.
I did a beer.
I didn't hear it. That's fine. That's welcome back, guys. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Hope you guys
I feel like it's been
had
an extra long time.
it's like 12.5% longer than it normally is. I don't know if that math works out exactly.
It's extreme.
Seems solid.
Yeah.
I trust it. I trust your math.
Tim, being the huge horned frog fan that he is, had to make his way to LA and cheer on the Purple Monsters against the evil dreaded Athenians of Georgia, and didn't get back until like late last night. So we decided to move this episode back a week so that we could get all of his awesome content, his interview at the National Championship.
A week?
Oh, day, whatever. I don't know how to use.
Yeah.
Get his interview from on field with Coach Elliott at SoFi Stadium. What was that like, Tim?
It was pretty good. I asked him why his son was wearing a Georgia gear. Apparently, his son's a fan.
Yeah, that's. Whatever. I mean, like his kid grows up in South Carolina, and he can't even be a South Carolina or Clemson fan. He's got to be a Georgia fan. What's this guy doing wrong?
Fan.
I was gonna say, as much as us fans hate that, Coach Elliott has to hate it too. Like in his soul of souls, like seeing his son turn into a Georgia fan instead of a South Carolina fan has to be pretty rough.
Or a Georgia State fan. I mean, come on. They're paying him $500,000 a year. He's buying overpriced Georgia crap when he could be getting discounted Georgia State stuff because he has an allowance for that crap.
He gets on-field access every game. I mean, what? Why aren't you a fan?
I'm not going to hate the kid for being a Georgia fan. Come on. Your dad
also might be a Georgia State fan, y'all. I mean, you can be fans of both programs.
Yeah, I'm not hating on the kid at all. I hate on my kids enough. I don't have enough energy to hate on other people's kids. But Coach Elliott, again, man, this is the same thing, same problem I had with Coach Miles as well. It's like, do you not own, even if you don't want to wear a Georgia State logo on your crap, can you not wear something blue? He's wearing just 2023 national championship like hoodie or a button down or whatever. Zip up, whatever it was. Like he's at the national championship game. He's the head coach of an FBS program who, in theory, could be at this game playing, and he doesn't even want to represent who he works for, who he coaches.
I didn't realize.
Come on.
Not even a hat.
For all those who don't know what we're talking about, there was an Instagram photo that was posted. I actually didn't know it was at the game, which is why I feel like I need to clarify to everybody else because I'm more in the know than everybody else, right? So it was at the game.
Oh, it was at the game.
Yeah, it's at the game. It's at the game.
That's where the interview.
And I'm just
happened.
like, yeah, exactly. So how did the interview go, Tim? You be you, and I'll be Coach Elliott. Let's go.
It was Go Panthers. That's about it.
Oh, that's not how that's supposed to work, but that works out well too. No, it's just, I mean, I get it. You don't want to necessarily have to deal with that kind of crap all the time. But I'm like, there's 130 of you in the country, and only 2 of you are working that night. Why don't you represent your program? Coach Elliott's making it hard.
So no matter
it's
what
hard to be a
political
fan of
thing,
Coach Elliott.
No matter what political thing I'm going to, it could be a Republican meetup or a Democrat meetup. I'm wearing something libertarian on me.
Right. Well, even that night, I went. My bocce league plays on Mondays, and so I went to my bocce game, and I put obviously everyone there is pretty much polarized on Georgia or non-Georgia or whatever. I wore my Georgia State hat. I'm like, I want to make sure everybody here knows that while I don't really give a crap if Georgia wins another national championship or not, me here right now at this bar where everyone's drinking and watching the game, I'm a Georgia State fan. I'm a fan of
Yeah.
Georgia State. That's my priority number one. And I would do the same thing if someone had dropped tickets on me to go to that game. I would take the opportunity. I don't know if I go to LA. LA pretty much sucks. But if the game was somewhere else and I went to it, I would be wearing Georgia State stuff through and through. You would think I was at Georgia State's game. That's just the way I would do it. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm a coach.
I will tell you though, I traveled to DC for New Year's, and I wore some Georgia State stuff while I was traveling, and I had my Georgia State beanie while I was like out and about, and it was cold out and all that. And but on the day of the semifinal, I did wear my Georgia beanie while I was out.
Yeah,
and about.
I don't.
saved
I don't
it for the
know
one
that.
day,
Oh
and
my
every other day I was wearing blue.
Lord.
That day I wore red.
Ryan, how could you do that?
Hey man, that's where I came up, man.
I know.
I can honestly say that I have never worn another program's logo, even before Georgia State had football. Before I followed Georgia State basketball, I went to many a Georgia game. I went to many a Virginia Tech game, and I would wear a red polo, a red shirt. But I made sure I would never wear a UGA logo or Virginia Tech logo. I wear a burgundy shirt or whatever, because I didn't go to school there. That's I was cheering for them. I wanted them to win, but I felt like I could not represent them because I am not them. I'm not one of those
silly.
people.
That's silly.
I
But
I
you
just
didn't
want
go
you to
there.
know
You
how-
can't be a fan. You can't represent. That's crazy talk.
You can be a fan, but you've not deserved your right to wear that logo.
That's crazy talk.
Come on.
Yeah, that's
I
pretty
am crazy. I am crazy. Did you have a good time, Tim?
That's
Did
extreme.
you have fun?
I had a
Have fun?
fantastic time. LA, like you said, is not all of that it's cracked out to be. So,
How was it
That-
tailgating?
That's what I was. That's exactly. gonna
well,
ask.
if you wanted to go to the free concert series, it was about 8 miles one direction. If you wanted to go to Fan Fest, it was about 8 miles.
I'm not a
another
fan of One Direction. Was Bieber there? Yeah. We can establish that the State of Atlanta tailgate is better than the 2023 national championship tailgates. Like, we beat everybody.
Boom. State of Atlanta.
All of them.
Yeah. Our worst tailgate is better than any tailgate at the 2023 national championship. So we have that to hang.
I
our
gotta
hats
tell you,
on.
one of our worst tailgates had to have been in the 2 years ago when every single tailgate was like the worst rainstorm
Oh.
and terrible weather every single game. Like,
I don't know. I mean,
that
the
Army
tailgate
game.
What? Army game?
Go, Tim. Go, Tim.
I was gonna say, trying to get into that stadium and out of it in the rain, in the rivers of water all around it, because there's no drainage in California. Like,
was
there
it
were
raining?
Oh yeah, it rained in the stadium because it was that, like, the wind was that intense. Because it's all open, right? So at one end of it, it's higher than the other as far as the roof goes, and it's open. You could just see rain coming into the stadium in sheets. So all the people at one end zone were getting pretty wet.
Oh, I had no.
And
I
it's
honestly-
not a roof that can handle water either, apparently. So it started dripping on us.
I did not watch. I mean, the game was on. Oh wait, I'm thinking about the Ohio State game. Never mind. I was thinking about the New Year's time and not paying attention to it. But yeah, I watched the game. I finished the game. I didn't realize it was raining. That's how drunk I was.
Well, I found something that was amazing, and it was on the ESPN app. I thought I was going to have to pirate somebody's provider login information to actually watch it on ESPN, but it said I was logged in on a capable provider for various feeds. They had like 11 feeds, different feeds of the game, but one of them was the Bulldog network of radio stations synced up with the video, and so I got to watch I got to listen to the live radio broadcast of Scott Howard doing the play-by-play with like DJ Shockley and I don't know I forget who the other guy is, and
That's
watch
awesome.
it live. And I was like, man, how cool would that be with Dave Cohen with the Panthers?
I think
like, holy crap, I would pay extra money for that in a heartbeat.
Every single time I watch a Georgia State football game or a basketball game, or even when I've gotten baseball or soccer or whatever, I'm like, if there was a way to time Dave Cohen's radio broadcast with the video feed that I'm on, because there's always one that's ahead or behind or whatever.
Sure.
Like that. Yeah, absolutely. That would be the equivalent for the Georgia fans, getting to hear Munson call your games. That's what Dave Cohen's like. He is the blue and white Munson. I mean, in my opinion. So I think everyone really agrees with that. So yeah, I agree.
I
That'd be
can't
awesome.
wait
That's
until
fantastic. That's fantastic.
ESPN rolls that out for every game, because I feel like that's got to be the future. If it's showing up in the championship game, it's the future of what streaming video or streaming sports is going to be.
Hey,
So
we're smart guys. We're IT folk. We can't find a way to like stall one broadcast and time another one to come in to get your audio and video feeds playing
dude,
at
I'm
the
a
same
project
time.
manager. I don't know what you want from me.
All right, you're in charge.
Are you on date? Are you on task?
I'm an idea guy. So this is my idea. You're project manager. You're in charge. Tim is selling it to everybody. We just need someone to actually do it.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're missing that small piece of the puzzle right there.
We are consultants, the State of Atlanta Consulting Group, and here we. All right, let's get into our garbage. Basketball sucks.
Indeed.
Right?
Well, we can't shoot, y'all.
We can't. No, again, I maintain we can shoot the hell out of the ball. We just can't make a basket to save our lives.
Sure.
I mean,
lots of attempts.
Out of all states for us to lose 2 games in, obviously, I hate that we lost 2 games in Louisiana. But man, I remember watching both these games, and the whole time I'm like, I need to remember this thing to talk about on the podcast, and I got nothing. I know that we went down early against Monroe, as we tend to do. We clawed our way back and couldn't do it. But then Lafayette, we took a very, very early lead and just squandered that whole thing and couldn't put it together. What do you guys think of this team after these 2 games? Anyone?
They're about where we thought they'd be. I mean, they're not. I mean, they're clawing and scratching their way to try to get it back into games, and they are at times. But I mean, like Monroe, you had that brief thought at the very end we were going to come back, right?
Yeah,
I think you did, and then we just kind of stopped shooting. Well,
so I do remember that. I do remember that Monroe game. Sitting there watching the game, and I was texting. Well, we were talking and on the Patreon group, and then I was texting with Ben directly about everything, and I was like, man, what the hell's going on? And he's like, I cut it off in the first half, and I'm like, good, because it has not gotten any better. We went down by like 18 or 19 or something in the second half, and then we clawed our way back, and we were within like 3 points within 3 minutes to go in the game and against Monroe, and just couldn't find a way to finish the game. And
I really thought we were going to come back.
I started feeling that way, and it put me in a good position going into the Lafayette game. I'm like, obviously, Bob Marlin still sucks, and I thought that we could find a way to overcome them. But yeah, we lost both games by 8 points. If they could spot us 9 points, we would win both games.
Handicap? We have a handicap. It's 8.
Once we lost ULM, I sort of was like, well, Lafayette, this is what we said last week was if we come out of here and lose against ULM and beat Lafayette, it's a win. So I was like, well, we're still in the game here.
we can still win the road trip. So yeah, that's a bummer. We got heading back home. We got Troy on Thursday, tomorrow night, or today if you're listening to the podcast the day that comes out. Troy tonight, and then Coastal on Saturday. Troy has ESPN gives us a 33.6% chance to win the game. I think Ben posted we're a 2.5 point dog in the game. All right. Troy always has our number. It feels like Nelson Phillips transferred to Troy, so we get to witness that. He gets to play in the Convocation Center. Yay, Nelson Phillips.
Ouch. I don't like that one.
That's weird, yeah.
I think we come out strong after our 2-game skid right here and take 2. I think.
You think so? You think so?
Yeah.
Troy and Coastal. So Troy is number 2 in the conference right now. They are 3-1 in conference, tied with Southern Miss and Monroe and somebody else. Coastal, however, is tied with us for last in conference. So
something's got to give there.
That's a winnable game.
Someone has to win, right?
Exactly. There's 4 teams with a 1-3 conference record. One of them is us. One of them is a team we beat in South Alabama. Then we get Coastal and then Arkansas State, which I'm sure we play at some point.
Are you guys going to both?
Who do we not play? I will be there. I'll be there for both.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Cool.
The Troy game has that baseball thing beforehand. Did
Oh,
you
is that
sign up for the
tomorrow?
baseball thing?
That's tomorrow.
I did sign up for it.
Tomorrow/today, depending on when you're listening to this. Yes.
Sure.
You're listening
Everyone
to it.
that I care
You're
about
li-
is listening live.
You're listening to it right now, Ryan. So it's tomorrow. But for the
That's
people that are listening
Thursday
on the
evening.
podcast, yes.
Cool. Yeah. I forgot
apparently-
that was tomorrow. But thanks for the reminder. And then on Saturday is a 2:00 game. So does that mean we're tailgating around noon?
We should be.
That's the plan. My son will be competing in the baby race at halftime. So I'm bringing the entire family.
Competing.
Oh, he's going to dominate this. This guy is lightning on knees. He's going to just demolish.
Can he crawl?
Oh man, you're going to see for yourself on Saturday. You're going to see for yourself.
The answer's no.
He's man.
You're trying to get him to crawl though, right? You're like
blue
coaching.
lightning. Blue lightning. You cannot.
He moves
stop
so
this
fast.
kid.
He moves, and then he moves right back to where he was. So fast you can't even tell he's moving.
Yeah. He is going to start and be so fast you're going to feel like he finished in the same place. It's going to be.
If he rolls over,
phenomenal.
Everyone is going to just cheer and is going to be so excited that he rolled over.
It's my last chance, guys. It's my last chance. My other 2 kids were walking by the time this thing came around. This guy's my last chance. Like,
can you let the race start and then just pick him up and walk around the thing and then place him down at the finish line? Be like, I won.
All I'm saying is that there's an investigation later on. I did not buy fishing line from Lowe's today, so that's not part of any kind of conspiracy theory that happens in this race.
Next week. I want a training montage.
Oh yeah, a Rocky montage. Blending eggs into his bottle.
Oh yeah, it's got to be 80s rock, and you got to be coaching that boy into crawling.
He's gonna do it, guys. He's gonna win. I got these 2 games. We lose them. We lose these games. I say we lose.
Ooh, Coastal.
No
too?
faith in the Panthers.
Worst in conference.
Well,
you don't.
If I said we're gonna beat Coastal, you guys would just like tell me that I'm a Coastal hater. So
no, we're ragging on you right now for saying we're gonna lose.
I'm saying we're gonna beat both.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know.
We'll
say we're gonna come back.
We'll see.
It's not like we're an absolute train wreck. I mean,
we've got
we're
it
not
in us to win.
So there's this wine store up my house where my kids go to dance class, and I go in there while they're in dance class, and I get drunk because I'm a good father. And I was talking. So I know the owner of the establishment, and like we always just shoot the shit, just basic kind of stuff. And today, he just out of nowhere, like we're talking about other random stuff, and he goes like, "So Georgia State basketball looks bad," and I'm like, "Yeah, we're not good. We're not good at all." Yeah, like it is close to the heart, but it's a very, very pointed arrow. It was very correct. It was not off target. It was correct. Forget why I brought that up.
Because we're not good. I think that's
We're not
what you're
good.
trying to get across. Yeah,
We're not good.
we have Odom, and then we have no one. We need someone else to step up consistently.
Hudson's been playing well.
Johnson's been okay coming off the bench. He gives you about 8 to 10 a game, but I don't know. It's just there's something missing with the whole.
It's the scoring thing.
It's the scoring part that's missing.
The ability to put the ball into the basket is rough. Just rough.
Yeah,
all around.
Oh man,
all around.
It's so rough. That's what I was telling the dude today. I was like, it's so rough. You watch, like, obviously, I would miss 1,000% of all these baskets that are shot. However, these guys are Division I basketball players. They should be making 2/3 more than they're missing right now. It's frustrating. It's very, very frustrating.
Like I said, they've got it in them. It just really depends on where we are as a team
We need to get it out of them. They've got it in them. We got to get it out of them.
Is that a new
Get it?
one with the knocking the rust off and the
Get
gelling
it
and all
in
that?
and out of them.
We got to get it out of them.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
shot actually decent for Lala at 45%, but not
What?
enough.
45% shooting?
Yeah.
Like
That's-
field goal?
Mm-hmm.
That's not good.
What was that 3-pointer?
Pretty good. Pretty 30.
What was 3-point? Yeah.
30. I mean, we're like the with ULM.
We're
We're
good
like
at drawing.
33%.
We're good at drawing fouls, and we're good at scoring on the free throws, which is kind of strange because I feel like free
it's like
throws have been an Achilles heel of us in the past. So, like, how can you be so good at shooting a free throw and like not being able to like get a layup? Also, the ability to hold on to the ball, the turnovers, ridiculous. Sorry.
Indeed. This team is rough to watch. Hopefully, we can just chalk this up as, you know, a growing season, a rebuilding season, if you will, and you know, we move on from here in the future. I'm not really like casting aspersions on this coaching staff yet or anything like that. Like,
no.
It is what it is. It's going to be a year or two before we can really say whether or not this has been a success or not, and you know.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. It's just weird with basketball because we've had such great success under Hunter, and then Lanier kind of, you know, for the most part, just kind of rode that high, and now we're at a point where
maybe we're feeling that right now. Maybe we're feeling the effects of what Lanier actually did to the program.
Well, and that's what I'm getting at is. This is the first time since Coach Hunter, like what I guess, like really is maybe second year that we're like, oh man, this is a rebuilding year. This is our first time where we're like, you know, we're not going to get over 500 in this season. We'll make the conference tournament, but you know we'll probably flail out in the first round if maybe win a game, or it's hard going because we've just grown up in the past 10 years expecting us to be the conference favor, and now we're back to earth, and to look ahead to next year is so football of us. We just we're trained to look ahead on football. We're trained to look to now in basketball, and it's especially with football. If football had come off of a 8-4 season with a bowl win, we'd be like, oh, bummer sauce on basketball. We'll be back next season, no problem at all. But no, we're disheartened off of a Monroe loss and a Charlotte loss and football that kept us out of a bowl game. And it's a downtime. It's a hard time. It's just frustrating.
We're spoiled. Honestly, I mean, we've been top of the conference since we got into it for the most part. I mean, we haven't won every year, but we're always competing to get into the tournament. This is probably the first year where I don't really think we're going to get in. I don't see it happening. Like, I don't see us turning it around. Like, unless someone starts shooting lights out, you know.
There's always there's always those teams that get alive at the back half. They say the entire thing like in NFL. They're like, they're playing well when they need to play well. Like that could be us at the end of the season. But if we're not getting the ball in the basket, at the end of the season, it's not going to do anything at all. We got to score better. So,
well, if that's the case, they're definitely doing a good job of hiding it from everyone.
Yep. All right, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens tomorrow / tonight. We'll see what happens on Saturday. My son will probably be the only win we have on the books. My son has a better shot of winning the game than we did. I'm kidding. No, we have a better shot of winning basketball. My kid fucking sucks. Sucks.
He just can't crawl. All right, he doesn't suck. He's just not old enough to crawl yet.
He's not there yet.
He can't crawl. He can't sit up. He can't hold his own bottle. He's even bad at being a paperweight because if you put him on your papers, he would just knock them all around. So
he's probably pretty good at like puking and pooping.
Actually, no.
Not good at pooping either.
Pretty good at pooping and being pretty solid.
Do you guys think that my son would not be good at pooping? Oh man, this guy he's probably get the Heisman for pooping this season.
Well, if he was a disappointment to you, then I would expect that those would be the reasons why. So, you know.
To be fair, my best crawling is when I'm drunk and it's to the toilet, and I don't get there very fast either. So,
Christ. Blue lightning.
blue lightning. All right. I have a controversial topic to bring up.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I like it. Let's do it.
All right, we're going back to football. And
no.
I don't think this is anything that's come up before, but what if we entered into an agreement with the evil people in Athens to be the minor league of Georgia football? Like when they talk to the recruits, they say, "Hey, we're interested. We like what you have. We're not sure you're ready for us yet. If you commit and play at Georgia State, we will watch you closely and basically become the minor league team for UGA." And the same thing goes with their existing players. They say, "Hey, if you're not performing where we want you to be, like if you transfer down to Georgia State, you will be at the top of our list to come back and transfer back up to UGA, whatever." This could become a thing within college athletics. If you have this minor league, major league relationship, same thing that goes along with the Braves and whatever that the strippers, whatever they're called, and the Gwinnett strippers, whatever they're called. What I don't know. This ideas came to me while I was there, and I'm not saying I'm advocating for it, but what do you think about blue chip college football teams taking a smaller program, a G5 program under their wing and becoming their minor league team, their developmental league, the developmental team?
I hate the idea, but I don't like what's happening now, so it sounds pretty good. Let's do it.
No, I hate it a lot, and
We'd
I don't hate what's going on right now. And
we'd have Stetson Bennett on our team, but we'd have to throw the ball. He's not the best runner, but
it would be interesting with coaches, because like would we do the same thing with coaches? Would coaches also be kind of like, that guy that didn't work out so well, or that towel boy? We'll make him the head coach because you like what he was doing last season. I don't know.
I mean, what happens? What happens when you play Georgia during the regular season? Is it a scrimmage at that point? Is that like first team versus second team at that? I mean, like what
do we never play?
Playing Georgia in football is such a foreign concept to me that this idea has more reality. Idea has more reality to me than playing Georgia in college football.
That's silly.
So
don't be silly. Come on, man. Come on,
I'm just saying.
Like, it's an interesting concept. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, it's interesting, but no.
All right, so let's take Georgia State and Georgia out of it. Let's say that this is Ohio State and Miami of Ohio, and they create this arrangement. What do you think of this arrangement for them?
I think if you were a Miami of Ohio fan, you should be like, "F this, I'm going home. I'm going to find another team to be a fan of." Because you
can't do that.
You didn't sign up to be a fan of the B squad of some other bigger program.
Well,
That's not
so. Well, what about the fans of the Gwinnett strippers? Like they are not fans of that team because these guys could go any minute to the Braves. By the way, the Gwinnett strippers thing is an idea I came up with just now. Like I never even thought of that until now.
Literally no show notes. You just like.
Exactly, it just popped in my head.
No, so the thing is, the farm league teams for MLB do not have a lot of fans. With some very notable exceptions.
Right? We don't have a lot of fans either. Exactly, we're already a farm league team.
But we want them, don't we? We want fans. We want to grow the program. That's a way. That's a way to just bury us.
Are we still the Panthers, or are we like miniature bulldog?
Nobody wants to be a fan of a farm team. That doesn't make any sense.
I did think about that. Well, we obviously we'd say be Georgia State, but you find a way. Not that I again, this is playing devil's advocate, just an idea I had. So
I
I'm
know
not
you
pushing
hate this
way.
idea.
We
But
the devil
like
dogs.
having the Georgia G and then like within the state outline of it of Georgia or something. I don't know. Yeah, you would kind of like become like that minor league or the Panther head right there with the cats and dogs. That's there we go. Cats and dogs. You know.
Yikes.
Tell us your thoughts, David.
Do you like it?
Oh, they're fucking horrible. It's a horrible idea.
That's why I was like, there's no way you're into this. I've heard you talk about like P5 versus G5. You don't even want to like institutionalize that there's a difference.
No, there's no.
There is no
But I think-
difference.
I think well,
Huge
it's just- there's 100 million differences, yes, but no, it was just something that popped in my head when I was preparing for tonight, and I was like, this whole concept for us was to talk about crap that people talk about at a bar, and I'm like, this is something that people will talk about at a bar. Like, what if you just made your team minor league to the big program in your state? Yeah, I said it's a controversial topic.
Now, there is something to be said about, and I've brought this up before, that I think it would be interested to have regional P5, G5 relegation. So like the whole, the SEC and the SBC are paired up in a relegation so that your best SBC team gets promoted to SEC and your worst SEC team drops down to the SBC, and like you just keep on going like that forever. I think that is a cool way to like increase your strength of schedule and move up the ladder in a way that you kind of can't do it right now. I think it'd be really neat.
I like relegation, that whole concept. I think it's great. It does everything for the G5 programs, and it does absolutely nothing for the P5 programs.
Well, you get a better strength of schedule because you'll have like in that example, let's just say you'd drop your Vandy and you'd get an App State that has a lot of momentum, and then you would gain potentially a more powerful program out of App State for at least a time.
Yeah, I think that you would get the very first several years would be very interesting because you would see that bottom tier P5 team drop to the bottom of the G5 programs, and the top of the G5s move up to the bottom of the P5s, and it'd be a little bit of a mix and a match there a little bit. And over time, it would become a little bit more normalized, where the same teams are dropping down, the same teams are moving up. There'd be a wild card in there every once in a while. But I mean, just the disparity in the income is so great. Like if you take an SEC team,
it wouldn't be. And it wouldn't be. The money in the SEC it all comes from the TV deal and all that. So if you moved up, you would have that income.
That's what I'm saying though. So the teams that move up to the SEC. So if App State, let's use Georgia State for an example, because screw App State. Georgia State moves up to SEC. Then so then they get all that kind of money and everything, and then you've got Vandy, who was struggling with that money. How are they going to ever compete again? And so Georgia State with that money.
I don't care. I'm not here to protect Vandy. F them.
Are we great managers of that money? I just don't see it. I don't see how it would work out. But maybe Vandy's private school though, right? Vandy's private.
I don't know. Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right.
Yeah. So I mean that could be interesting to see how that would play out. I don't know. I like the idea of relegation. You'll never see it. There's no way that the
P5 there is no way, but it's just a neat idea. Pairing up the regional P5 G5.
Yeah,
I love it. I love that idea.
Yeah,
but
when
only
involved, they're not going to allow any changes.
I mean, frankly, I was surprised they expanded the playoffs. So, they're never going to give me what I want.
The playoff expansion was done for us for 2025, so we can get in.
That's true.
Here in Atlanta, here in the ATL.
That's when I visited the championship. That's what the committee said. We did this just for Georgia State for 2025.
Nice.
It's all on us now, though. We have to actually win.
All right,
they can't rig it for us.
Well, as
I'd
long as
be
there's no SEC
really
refs,
thankful.
as long as there's no SEC refs in any of our games, I think we have a shot.
I think to do that, we'll have to play an SEC team in the championship.
LSU
Most likely.
next season,
Next
next
year?
season, regular season, we got we're at LSU,
Ooh.
and
Gotta
we
beat
were
them.
we,
Gotta
we were
show
talking
them
about
what's
this.
what.
We were talking about this a little bit in the Patreon group chat. I'm obviously very, very open about my disdain for everything within the borders of Louisiana. But so Georgia State's got Lafayette, we've got LSU. The Falcons are going to play a game in New Orleans. That just happens unless they get flooded again. Fingers crossed. So if it just so happens that we get back-to-back Georgia State games in Louisiana and Falcons playing at New Orleans the exact same weekend or one of those 2 weekends,
You'll stomach it.
I'm going to all three. I'm going to all three. But that's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take. It's
That's
going
a
to take
huge
all three of those to
trifecta,
happen.
though.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to come home. I'm just going to stay there the entire time. So I'll probably come home to my wife and kids being gone. They'll have left me because, to be honest, I don't know if I want to be married to somebody that would go spend an entire week in Louisiana. I don't blame my wife for leaving me for that.
I'll go with you.
Oh yeah, that'll help.
Oh, I wasn't trying to solve your marital woes.
Everything's fine right now.
I'll just go hang out.
That's all I got, guys.
That's pretty good. I don't know.
I thought, whoa. I thought you had something about softball.
Oh
son
yeah,
of
softball.
Yeah.
Softball. I didn't even put it in the notes.
I'm curious what it is. I don't even. I looked at it for
this
a
is
split
big.
It's
This
not
is
big.
big.
Come on.
It is.
know what
It is big.
It's real
Ryan,
big.
I think you'll even think that
it's an extra big ball.
I think
it is in softball.
It is, that's
right.
true. Good point.
So I went
right.
through the softball schedule came out today because Georgia State always releases stuff on Wednesdays because we normally record on Tuesdays. I was looking at the schedule and I was like, man, this seems like a very
released
a very home team favored schedule. And so I started looking at everything. Obviously, conference is broken down easy: 12 home games, 12 away games. Conference, let's throw conference games out of the schedule, out of the conversation. We have 32 out of conference games, and obviously minis are series and everything. So 23 of the 32 out of conference games are home. We only have 9 out of conference games that are away. And out of those 9 out of conference games that are away, the first 5 of them are all in like the first tournament we do down in Miami. It's in February. You do a tournament in February in Miami. So now we got 4 games left that are away games out of conference. 2 of those, Tech and Georgia. The other 2 are Alabama State and Montgomery and Jacksonville State in Alabama. Like that is a crazy number of home versus away games out of conference. So I reached out to Max, who has been on the podcast before, who played was a scholarship, a softball player, and I asked her, I was like, what is up with this? Does this sound normal to you? And I even went back and looked at past seasons, and outside of the COVID years, this is totally abnormal. And she agreed. She said it's crazy. The only thing she came up with was playing the travel cost to Miami for that first opening tournament, and then having to go to Huntington and go to Boone and go to Monroe. The travel costs got so high that the only thing we could really do is schedule home games. And we do have 2 effectively back-to-back tournaments, Georgia State tournaments at Bob Heck Field. There, it's a lot of home games, which I like.
You have to pay for home games, though, don't you?
Not always.
You just invite somebody and they just show up. Like,
I don't know about
softball. They need games. They need games too.
Excellent job to whoever schedules softball. They are cutting costs way down on travel.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. So in the month of so it starts in February. We go from February 14th, Valentine's Day, to March 15th. So we go one full month. I mean, it's February. Not even is that even a real month? But we go to a full month. We play 21 games, and only 2 are away, and that's one in Athens and one in Montgomery, Alabama. They're all here. That's just absolutely crazy to me. I love it. I love that kind of scheduling. If that kind of scheduling can continue, especially when we find out today at the baseball announcement that we're getting this stuff built for next season, that's awesome.
Wow.
I would go to a lot of softball games.
What a
great.
teaser. We getting that tomorrow?
Well, that's what they said. That the tweet we got from baseball was the stadium updates coming tomorrow at the announcement before the basketball game. So
Nice.
I don't know.
Rad. Is that the one they deleted?
They did delete the post. But I think it was because they had the ticket sign up and they sold out. They sold out the entire event.
Yeah, we did find out that. That's cool. I wonder how many people is it like in that little room downstairs?
Sold out.
No, it's in the upstairs suite, the athletic director suite, the Cobb suite that I snuck into in the first game.
Oh, the one that's always closed off to everybody and is dark and no one's ever in?
That's what those are for.
Yes.
I saw those in my account. I'm like, what the hell are these tickets?
Oh, you got the email. You registered for it. You got that's the weird thing is they gave us a ticket to the event.
Vimo, right?
And then and then an extra ticket to the game. So I've got extra tickets to the game today, whatever. That was my softball thing. I thought it was very
free for two.
Cool. I thought it was very cool. So it's
I'm excited then if we're talking about stadiums.
23 of our 32 out of conference games are home. And most of those games are you could, if you wanted to go to every out of conference game, you could go to them because those 9 away games are easy travels. So, also, I didn't know this. I didn't know. I thought softball was one of those sports that just like every college sponsored.
They don't.
Old Dominion, and Arky State do not. So apparently they hate women.
So with all those home games, our ladies should get a pretty good record, right?
You would think so.
Home field advantage. That's a nice facility, by the way. I thought. I was surprised.
The softball is far better than the baseball, and the baseball is far better than the soccer because the soccer is actually on the floodplains. So, soccer has moved. Soccer is moved,
but it was on the floodplains. Yes.
Well, wait. So, based on a lot of the theory that gets thrown around on this podcast, though, the very favorable schedule with home games should directly correlate into
W's,
wins,
all
right?
the dubs,
right?
All right,
yeah.
So the answer from you is very clearly a yes. That we should win a bunch of games.
This should be one of our best seasons ever. Yeah,
that's right. Okay.
Yeah, it should be a good year for softball.
Can we revisit that at the end of the season? See how it goes?
We will record this comment and revisit it at the end of the season.
Ryan, I'm gonna hold you to put that a pin in your notes, and you can bring it back up at the end of the year. That's not happening.
There.
That's not happening.
I did hear something that floating around rumor wise that like softball won't fit in that render anymore, and they have to be moved elsewhere.
Heyo.
So
I have not heard that. That is news to me.
I heard it twice. I said no, they're in the render. It's next to it.
I heard it too.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I definitely heard those rumors that softball wasn't gonna make it into the new facility.
If it's 3 people saying it, it's probably about 2,000% right.
Well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow, right? With 100% certainty, we're gonna get all the details.
Well, I did find it. Before you guys even said this, I did find it interesting that baseball has having the little spring thing, and they said stadium update, but softball was not included, and softball begins in like 3 weeks. So,
Is,
Yeah, maybe,
So it's an
maybe-
hour before the game. So 6 o'clock.
Starts at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock when it begins. So
Mhm.
yeah, I've got
We could put softball on that media lot. What do you think? They could flood there.
So they have the one spot in Panthersville that doesn't flood, and we're gonna move them to the one spot at Summerhill that does flood. Yeah, that sounds about it.
It's perfect.
I think you may have some women's organizations that are going to come on you on that one, Tim.
Game's canceled. Sorry, it rained today.
You
I don't know
probably,
where else.
well,
Where are you gonna put them?
softball's a smaller field than baseball. Is there still
is.
room to put softball in a Center Park Stadium? Probably not. Probably not.
Maybe.
Be a lot of home runs in right field.
Yeah. Although maybe that area behind the bleachers is bigger than we think.
Just have like the right fielder be like behind the bleachers of there underneath the chop house or the whatever it's called,
Maybe.
State House Grill. Ryan just shaking his head in disapprovement.
Disapprovement. Good word.
I wish it was Chop House. Ooh, that'd be fun.
All right. I think we're done. I think we can go to a last call, right?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's get in last
All
call
right.
and curse a little bit.
I've already been doing that tonight. So yeah. Thank you everybody for listening. We're going to head over to Last Call. You can find Last Call on our Patreon page. It is free of charge, patreon.com/DaveAtlanta. However, if you are a member, you will get early access to it. Normally comes out on Fridays. Patreon members get it immediately. Also get access to our private group chat, which we all agree is the best part of being part of the Patreon, as well as discounts to the merchandise and first right of everything. We do free tickets and discounts on merchandise, all that kind of fun stuff and everything. So please consider joining that, patreon.com/DaveAtlanta. And that's all I got. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Peace.